Daniel called last Sunday. 9 minutes. We talked about Owen's school project, whether the weather had turned yet in Portland, something about his car needing work. He said he'd call again next week. He will. He always does. I hung up and sat here in the kitchen for a long time afterward. 9 minutes, 58 years of a person I helped bring into this world, and we used 9 minutes and said nothing that mattered. I've been trying to understand for a long time how we got here, not looking for someone to blame. I know where most of the blame sits, just trying to see it clearly before I run out of time to see anything clearly. Daniel was a serious child, quiet, watchful, careful with his words, in a way that reminded me of myself and should have told me something. He observed before he spoke. He didn't ask for much. I took that as self-sufficiency and let it be. It wasn't self-sufficiency. It was a boy who had learned early that asking didn't get him what he was actually looking for. What he was looking for was simple, just his father present without an agenda. I was present in the physical sense. I was in the house. I came to some of his games, helped with homework when asked, sat at the dinner table most evenings, but there was always something running underneath my presence, a lesson being prepared, papers to grade, a problem from school following me home. I was there and I was elsewhere simultaneously, and children feel that. They feel it and they adjust to it, and eventually they stop expecting anything different. Daniel stopped expecting sometime around 15 or 16. I didn't notice when it happened. I just gradually became aware that he had stopped bringing things to me, not dramatically, not with any announcement, just quietly, the way a door closes on its own if you never go through it. There was a period in his mid-20s when I think he tried again. He'd call more often than he does now, ask questions about my life, tell me things about his. Looking back, I think he was testing whether something had changed, whether there was a way in that hadn't been there before. I answered his questions correctly. I gave him information. I did not give him what he was actually reaching for, which was just to be known by me and to know me back. Real things, uncertain things, the kind of conversation that doesn't have a useful outcome but leaves you feeling less alone. I wasn't capable of that then. I'm not entirely sure I'm capable of it now. He moved to Portland in 1994, built a life there, married, had Owen and Lily. The distance became physical as well as the other kind, and after that it was easier for both of us to let the calls be what they are, routine, manageable, safe. I visited once 2009, stayed 4 days. His house was warm and full, and Rebecca, his wife, was kind to me in a way that made me understand she knew the shape of things between us and had decided not to hold it against me. The grandchildren were small then. Owen couldn't have been more than 4. He climbed into my lap after dinner the first night without hesitation, the way small children do before they've learned to be careful around you. I remember thinking he doesn't know yet to keep his distance. That thought stayed with me for days after I came home. What it meant that a 4-year-old's openness could feel unfamiliar to me, what it said about how I'd let things become. Maggie used to grieve it quietly. She never said so directly, but I could see it. The way she'd linger on the phone with Daniel after I'd said goodbye and handed it back to her. The way she'd mention something he'd told her, casually, knowing I hadn't heard it from him directly. She was a bridge between us for years, patient, consistent, trying to keep something connected that I had let go slack. When she died, that bridge went with her. The calls got shorter after that. I think losing his mother shook something loose in Daniel, some last hope maybe that the family might still become something it had never quite been. I don't know. We haven't talked about it. We don't talk about things like that. I've written him letters I haven't sent, 3 of them in a drawer in the back bedroom, long ones. The kind where I say the things I've never said out loud, that I know I wasn't reachable, that I saw him trying and didn't meet him halfway, that I'm proud of him in ways I've never found the words for in real time, that I miss him in a way that doesn't have a clean name because he's alive and well and calls every Sunday, and the missing is still constant. I don't send them because I don't know what I'm asking him to do with them. Forgive me, maybe, or just know, just have the information that his father saw it clearly, eventually, even if eventually was too late to change much. Maybe I'll send one before long. I'm 84. The window for eventually is getting narrow. There's a specific kind of grief in losing someone to distance. It doesn't announce itself. There's no funeral, no date on a calendar that marks when it happened, no moment where people gather and acknowledge the loss. The person is alive. They call on Sundays. They'll come at Christmas and sit at this table and pass the bread and ask about my health. But something between you is gone. Something that needed tending a long time ago and didn't get it. And you move around that absence the way you move around furniture in a dark room, carefully from memory, trying not to make it worse. I don't know if Daniel and I will find our way to something better. I hope so. I think he hopes so too, in his way. We're both waiting for the other one to know how to begin. That's probably the saddest part, that we're the same in this, that I made him in my own image so completely that we are now 2 people who love each other and can't find the door. Owen is 11. When he visits, he still talks to me easily, still hasn't learned to be careful. I try to be different with him than I was with his father. I listen more. I ask about things that don't have useful answers. I let him be uncertain in front of me without fixing it. It's practice, maybe, for the conversation I still owe his father. If it's not too late, I don't think it's too late, but I've been saying that for 20 years.